This week on this investigation, we were actually alerted to come and do this place by How Cool Is That Exploring, or my best mate Stuart. This location is very close to home. We used to go here all the time when we were in our teens, like a little party spot, so it was interesting to see that there was a paranormal background in this location that we were previously unaware of. Follow us in this 3-part series as we not only explore and discover the timeline of this location, but also the presence that seems to be haunting the woods there. And maybe we'll get some answers. Okay guys, so we've now walked into Clewer Park. We're going to be doing a walkthrough first, and we're going to talk about some history of this place, which How Cool Is That Exploring, whose video will be linked in the description of this one, spoke a bit about last time, but since that video he has found out some more information and he's going to share that with us today. So hope you guys are all sat down, enjoy, grab your snacks and let's venture in. So as you can see, this is what the entrance way looks like as you're coming through. So when we come through here during the nighttime investigation, it's going to be creepy AF. See, the trees are quite tall, but this is an old park. It's been here for quite some time. I believe the 1509, I don't know, what year? Do you remember
1800s.
the 1800s?
But before that, it was a little village back in the 1500s.
Oof. It's weird because I'll say you and me have lived here, I don't know if you're pretty much most of your life, isn't it? Same as me. And yeah, so we've been coming here for a while. We used to drink in here quite a lot, and I only found out when he did his video that this used to be a manor house, as well as there used to be some other buildings here as well, wasn't there? And then the borough bought the park.
They were going to demolish every single bit, and then the borough bought it.
Crazy. Okay, so you'll see guys that there's this green fencing that it's about a good quarter of the bottom half of the park. This because it leads onto an allotment site just next door, and that side is the race course, so obviously it's barriered off there as well, but we'll touch more on the race course when we get inside the trees. So one thing you'll notice as we're going through here, or you might not notice, is how much of this has actually been set on fire before. It's very obvious when we get to a certain point where we used to chill out and drink. We didn't set the fires, but we used to sit on these logs and drink by the river. Now when we get to that bit, you'll see how obvious the charring is. But if you look down here, you can see once again that these trees have been burnt down. But we don't know whether or not this was done deliberate, or if this was an accident or something to do with the weather. I'm pretty sure it's not. We don't really get forest fires in here. But you can see that everything else around it hasn't been burnt. So someone has deliberately set fire to this one tree. And judging by the thickness of that, it's probably one of the taller trees in the area, because as you can see the opening. So just thought I'd document that. At this point, I didn't know much about the location that we're walking around. As you can see that we're just about to approach the pond. It was actually How Cool Is That video that brought us to that pond in the first place, with the seemingly apparent evidence he was getting. He was getting very good responses on the PARACHILLS that seemed to coincide with the history that he'd found of the place, and especially at this location where I believe he was contacted and said that they were either a student or a pupil. But enough from me, I'm going to let you hear it from the man himself. Okay, so we're making our way through. Now you can imagine what this is going to look like at night time. Look at my lovely boots. So we're not even a quarter way through yet, and as you can see, it's a lot of overhead trees. We like to sometimes refer to when the tree goes over the top of you and you can't see the sky, is what we call the devil's anus. Don't know why. Basically that's more entrance to the race course. And one thing during this investigation we'll have to keep an eye on is the sounds of animals. We're going to hear foxes, we're going to hear cats, we're going to hear potentially moles if there is any in here, birds, especially the birds, you'll hear those quite a lot. So I think we're just about to come up to the lake, or the pond, if I remember correctly. And it seems like they've been doing some restoration work of the trees here, because you used to have to fight your way through the ivy to get into here. Now it seems like they've opened it up quite a lot. So you don't want to get lost into this. Do not want to get lost in that. And I digress. So I think we're coming up to the pond.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a weird sounding bird. So, this looks a lot bigger than I thought it was. Ooh. As you can see, the pond stretches all the way across. And so I don't really know much about this, but I do know that How Cool Is That did get some really good evidence. I think it was at this pond, am I right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk to him now and see what he got last time he was here, and hopefully when we come back and do this in a bit, we might pick up either the same stuff or maybe a bit more. But one can hope. So let's speak to Stuart, see what happens.
So when I was here last, I was using the PARACHILLS app, and what I was getting was roughly here was I got stables, which then I learned through a friend. She did a lot of research for me. That there was actually, it was a school at one point, there was actually a stables, so that was kind of cool to find out that I got teacher right here. And then the other side of the lake where we're going a little bit is where I found the first name I got on that app, which was Anna. Done some more research about Sir Daniel Gooch. Turns out he had 2 sons, I believe it was. Can't remember their names, but he had one daughter called Anna, which I had no idea about. And you can't find any research other than her name and the way she, the date she died on.
Okay, so we're making our way further around the pond. As you can see from this walkthrough, this place is absolutely huge. We're about coming up to the halfway mark of the outside. We are going to go into the centre of the green and talk about that shortly as well. But can we just appreciate this inside lockdown weather that we've actually had today, because it's absolutely stunning. Small story for you now. Before I started working full time in a bar, and way before my YouTube, I used to be a leaflet delivery guy. And at one point I was given someone else's leaflets to deliver, and I dumped them in there. and then got swiftly asked to leave that job. So we're now at this corner side. You can get a bit more of the view of the pond just behind me there. And as you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful day out. I still don't know how I feel about this location. It's like, we used to come here all the time and I never once thought it was like a haunted thing, but I don't know if that's because I didn't believe in that yet. I don't think we came here much often after the asylum incident, maybe once or twice, but even then I'd just forgotten about it. I've repressed that and just came here to party. So being in here now, knowing what we know, I don't feel like anything's here at the moment, but that might change. It could be something to do with the time of day, it could be where we are on the location. It might get a bit more weird feeling when I get to the main green where the actual manor itself stood. So we'll get back to that shortly, and yeah, enjoy the view. What was interesting about this spot, especially on the corner of the pond, where we'll notice this as we go forward in the investigation, that the closer that we got to the main grounds, it was a more actively paranormal experience in that place. So more on that on part 2, but it was quite interesting that we got the Anna name at this corner of the pond, and so it felt watched. And what we didn't know about an Anna yet. We knew about Daniel. We visited his grave in our first ever video, but we didn't know about his daughter, and this was very good information. And the fact that the spirit box called out Anna, this was a very key part of our research going forward into the investigation. Who is Anna, and why was she still in Clewerfield?
So as we walk through this bit, guys, you can see, like, as the clearing opens up, this is where we used to actually sit and chill when we were teenagers. We used to drink a few drinks here, and it was quite a nice place to be. It was secluded, no one knew where we were. And the thing is, like, we were victims of bullying or some horrible kind of behaviour towards us for being alternative kids and different. And this was like our paradise, our escape. And it's actually quite nice to actually come back here. I haven't been here for about 8 years, like probably longer. I do know somewhere in here I buried a bag of sand, and for those who are from England, that's £1,000. And it wasn't really 1,000. I buried £100 here as a runaway fund, and I have no idea where I put it. So that'd be interesting. That's follow me. I didn't realise all this fencing was here.
I was always wondering what it was until I did the research. It's pretty much part of the estate. It's probably... So,
I've really opened this up because it's through there where we sat.
yeah, there's a long way everything's through here.
So I don't know how well you can see this, guys. I'll bring it over. As you can see, once again, we've got more evidence of someone burning stuff here. I think this is the frame of a chair. There is like a thing there that looks like the back of a deck chair, like you put it up. So again, it looks like people have come here to destroy, and that's probably one of the biggest shames. But as you can see, the trees have all been knocked down, and this mostly is down to natural behaviour of where we are. The trees are getting so tall, as you can see from the shots that I've shown you from above, that when we get a heavy wind presence, they actually do snap and come down, and some of them are being taken down just to make a clearing. As you can see, like before, all this open space you can see wasn't here before. It was a lot more closed up. I don't know how far down that's going to go, and we're going to find out shortly as we approach the campsite that we used to hang out at, as we make our way through to the main Clewer estate lot, placement, whatever you would call it, the land. But yeah, and we'll be back with you when we get to the campsite.
This is where things got weird. It was really strange that we have always considered the campsite our safe haven in this location. This was where we used to hang out. Groups of us, 6, 8, 10, 15, 12. We used to think that was our spot. We were safe there. We used to always go there. That's where we used to hang out, have little campfires, and just generally enjoy being outdoors. And it was just really strange that the entire time we were on the campsite, in both parts 1 and part 2, all the footage lost its audio from the campsite. So that's the test and the walk around. Thankfully, part 3's episode seemed to remain intact so far while I'm editing it, but it's just really weird that out of all the places in the park that could have gone wrong, it happened to be in that one safe spot. But yeah, who knows what happened. We'll find out when we do part 3. But so far, it's looking promising.
Okay, so Boogie Squad, that's the end of part 1 of the new series of Clewer Park investigation. Join us next time for our daytime investigation techniques. See if we can make any contact during the day. We are trying to see if the time of day affects activity. And I can tell you, you're in for a bit of a treat with what we've got on that. So I really hope you enjoyed that. The next video that'll be out next week. But for now, please share this around, get the word out. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell. And secondly, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel and supported me since I started in September. We have just hit 202 subscribers, which is a huge milestone for me, so thank you very, very much. I am working on a way to give back, and eventually I will. So I just wanted to let you know that I hugely appreciate the love and support you show me every day. I love the ones that everyone who messages me on all my social media platforms and continues to spread the joy. So keep that up. Thank you very much. Everything I do for you guys. If you're enjoying the content, please let me know. And again, if you saw anything during the walk around that didn't come up in the conversation, please comment down below to let me know what you saw. And that's pretty much it for now. So I'll see you in part 2. Thank you very much. Peace. Years ago, Stuart and I thought we found a shallow grave. Was that you? Yeah. What did you hear? Can you tell me your name?
That almost sounded like wrong place.
Tell me your name. Leave.
Whoa!
All the way to red.
I think it's time. You're acclimatised to it because you're expecting it, and that's what you're there for. It's the music and everything that goes with it.